Is that some White Forest action? It appears so. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out more often to know the regional data is narrowing down here. We're heading on into next year and things are going to be a little bit quiet for at least a good 2-3 weeks out here. But I'm trying to cover as much of this as I can because it's interesting to follow the transformation phase of this format and kind of how things are tracking, at least right now, with what we're developing out here. Now, honestly, 4 Maliss decks does break a little bit of the mold of what we've been expecting out here with this meta, because that's just a lot of Maliss, man. Like, I'm not surprised to see the turnover for this, but really, like, that, I mean, some regions you've got way more Ryzeal competing in others, but this is the first Maliss-dominated region that I've seen, and I'm going to clap for that, actually, especially in the developments of this meta. It's really cool to see that Maliss is really making headway out here. Now, we did have a singular pure Ryzeal deck make their way into Top Cut with Harpy's Featherstorm, of all things. Did you just say that correctly, Rabbi? Harpy's Featherstorm in Ryzeal? Yeah, well, I mean, it's bring your cool tech choice to work day out here, and the deck has been just full of surprises, so that one shouldn't surprise anybody to hear. We also had some Yubel action out here. Now, I'm very happy to see that Yubel did have a little bit of a conversion. Unfortunately, according to my oracle, we do not have the list for this, and I'm assuming that it's probably just standard Yubel Fiendsmith tearing on through the meta. Nothing really surprises me with that deck anymore. We also had a White Forest pile. Now, this is also using the Toy Box package to kind of advance through the play lines and put that big pressure on your opponent, which I'd like to see. And we also have a Memento list leaping into action out here. Now, Memento is one of Japan's, like, specialty builds. The deck has been having massive success over there. So it's definitely interesting to me to see some developments of that coming out on our side of the game. Let's pass on over to those deck lists. Starting things off here, we have our pure Ryzeal special, and you know, there's not a lot of craziness in here, but a couple things I do want to highlight here. Ghost Spell has been seeing a massive uptick right now because slashing your opponent off of getting access or banishing something from the graveyard has become very, very important right now. Maliss's uptick in the meta has definitely found this card as a massive powerhouse in today's meta. So if you've been wondering why there's been a massive uptick in Ghost Spells, it's because the card's a gosh darn anti-meta monster for what it needs to be doing. Now, I also see we are playing 2 Desires, 1 Pot of Prosperity in here. I do not like this Pot of Prosperity in here at all. I feel like this conflicts very heavily with attack talents in here, but I guess this duelist did find a way to make this, you know, work out. I feel like you want the draw power to be resolving from this, just so you can get all that value to get things going. Obviously, we're doing the Call by the Grave with the triple cross out. I think that's fine. We are doing 1 Veiler in the main, which I don't know how I feel about that either, but you are extending to the bells, so I guess that's fine in itself. Interesting things here. We are playing triple Featherstorm. Now you're like, how are we making this work? This card right here. Hey, look, it's a Wing Beast level 4. A rank 4, congratulations. You are making Castel, and you are Featherstorming your opponent, and this is glorious. It's just very interesting to me that they're not playing any Thrust to toggle into this, so we have to hard draw this, which I guess is an idea. And of course we are playing the Plasma Hole down here, as well as like a 1-of, just to kind of have access to if we need it for the matchup. So I mean, you got the Land Siege, you got the Drolls, you got your bases covered, some Lightning Storms, Feather Duster. And of course, since we are playing the Space Rock, Donner's going to kind of clean up those major threats so that we can continue playing the game. Yeah, this looks pretty standard, honestly. I like this. Next up here, there it is. There's the Memento King of Combined Creation himself. Now, I did say that this deck has been a pretty big major challenger out here in Japan, and it really has. Like, if you wanted a solid challenger before this list shift, Memento was going to be that really cool deck to kind of put you into a decent position and just kind of laugh at your opponent. It's not really needed extra pieces. You know, Shifter just fell out of the meta, so when Shifter goes night-night, this deck is able to, you know, collectively get some major resource rebounding and actually get off to the races. Now, I do see we are doing 2 copies of the Memento Goblin with the triple copies of the Grand Breakout. This ratio is absolutely fine. I don't really think you want to mess around too much with that. You have your board breakers a go here, which is fine. We're doing 2 Memento Fusion. I know some lists were trying to get really, really cheesy and maximize larger numbers, but I think that this works out. I also see that we do have the 1 Fractured Ends down here, so we are side decking one of the trap cards. I guess this is one of those cases of, while the traps can be really good in the main deck, in my opinion, if you go second, they're just dead worthless. You don't want to really be risking, bad plays in the build, and you just want to be able to kind of do everything that you are really looking to do. Outside of that, I guess the 1 Pot of Prosperity is cool. I mean, you know which resources you're going to be shaving off in which matchups, and which resources that you want to be digging into to make sure that the deck can still keep going, aka, looking for the gas to keep the extension lines going. Outside of that, also only 1 sheep. That one, I feel like most builds are playing too sheepy at this point, but I guess you can get away with the 1. I guess you're not really too worried about this thing going away because it is an earth monster. That's interesting. Okay. Next up here, we have some love to the dear old Maliss deck. And this is going to kind of go against a lot of the mentalities I think people were trying to have out here, because that's right, that's 3 Chessy Cat, that's triple Dormouse, and yes, that's triple White Rabbit. Also, where's our Ash Blossoms? Where's our Ghost Spells? Where's those, other hand traps? No Nibiru's in the main deck. No. I'm worried about that, actually, because we are playing the good old Sky Striker utility line in here. Now, keep in mind with the Sky Striker stuff, I mean, your life is going to be Hornet Drones into the Kagari, set this back up, and then normal summon one of these little stupid guys, and you're able to go off to the races. I like this build a little bit. If there was more of a standardized method of things to kind of go with, this is actually pretty decent. Now, down here's where you're going to have all of your good cards side decked. Yes, we are doing Lancia with the 1 Sanctum to be able to blow our opponent out, because we've already got the triple thrust built into the main deck. Like, that's not happening. I also like that this duelist was just, we had so much Ryzeal running around in this room that they actually opted to straight main deck the Dimensional Barrier. Now, this is a 1-of. This isn't going to necessarily harm you. The only downside that you're going to have is there might be, a 1 in like 30 possibility that you're going to open up a pretty shit hand, or, you're going to have to play on 4 cards with the Dimensional Barrier being a little bit of an inconvenience. But I feel like more times than not, you have 18 draw cards and you get 3 of them down. Congratulations, you're off to the full gas races out here for what your deck wants to be doing, which I think is absolutely fine. In terms of the extra deck, see, we did choose to play the Pack Bit instead of the Meteor Logic, which I think this card's probably a little bit better. Crystallizing something just feels a little bit better. Outside of that, congratulations to seeing the new level of innovations with Maliss. This deck is definitely being explored, and I love to see it. And of course, we have our White Forest pile. Now, if you thought you were going to get away with not seeing Fiendsmith cards here, I got bad news for you, Duelist. The Fiendsmith cards are the absolute staples that hold this engine together out here. There's just something about this package that just allows this deck to do stuff. I mean, and of course, its purpose is to bait as many hand traps as you possibly can. Now, we are doing what? 2 Stellar with the triple is set. No real major disappointments there. And then the 1 Rusi and the 1 Sylvie. But we're also doing the 2 Toy Soldiers with the 1 Toy Tank here as well. So this package is going to just put the extra bodies on the field. There are basically some filtering options. We're not doing the Illusion of Chaos shenanigans, thank God. That stuff is awful. We're also doing 1 Deception with 1 Hollowed Azamina. So, I mean, your package for this is being dedicated to 6 cards. And I mean, it's not like we're not even playing the Ryzeal, actually. I just realized that. This package is just being massively cut down. I think that's fine, honestly, because like your purpose is to put the Sylvie on the field and then step over the Diabell Star into something else. Like, that shouldn't be much of an issue, I wouldn't think. But that's all that we have for this event. I am happy to see the tech choices that a deck like this is able to tear on throughout here. You know, the Toy Box engine is a very big utility. It puts so many free bodies on the field for a deck like this, and it is really good deck fitting as well as you're kind of filtering through and getting to the key pieces you need, which is really good. And I mean, making top 8 is no simple task. You know, you really got to work your ass off for these victories. So please, comment down below what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here in a day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.